This September, Doctor Strange will die and we need a new Sorcerer Supreme, so here are my top 10 dumbest picks. WOOFWOOF! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog, and we're back with another video. We recently learned that this September, Marvel is going to release a 5-issue miniseries called The Death of Doctor Strange. And in a similar way to what I did last year with The Last Ronin, I was going to do a video where I talked about who is most likely to be the next Sorcerer Supreme, but since then it seems all but confirmed that it's going to be Scarlet Witch, who was going to be my number 1 pick on the top 10 list. And I don't know about you guys, but a top 10 list where the number 1 pick is taken by a character that's already pretty much guaranteed to be the next Sorcerer Supreme just sounds fucking boring. As well, I've already seen quite a few articles that are trying to accurately pick the next successor, and when I was reading them, I was thinking to myself that, you know, I'm not the most accurate person when it comes to guesses anyway. I'm not the most smartest, I'm not the most knowledgeable, I'm not even the most handsome, but what I am is the dumbest. So because of the fact that death is the biggest joke in the comic book industry, I thought instead I would make a list of my top 10 dumbest picks for the next Sorcerer Supreme. Number 10, I've got Mr. Fantastic at odds of 4 to 1. Yeah, those are intentional as well, and I'm not really going to convert it into American odds or decimal odds, but out of my 10 dumb picks, this is the one that I think will be most likely to happen, and it's only really because of the fact that I've recently done a video on the Fantastic Four, so I've kind of got them all in my head. But obviously with the Illuminati, Mr. Fantastic and Doctor Strange have talked quite a bit, and also in the Wade run, he kept appearing a little bit. So these characters are entwined quite a lot, and also Reed Richards is a very logical character, which is a bit of an understatement. So you never know, Doctor Strange might have a condition that if in the event that he's ever not able to fulfill his role as a Sorcerer Supreme, it goes to the smartest person that he knows, which is probably Mr. Fantastic. And as well with the Council of Reeds, there's probably already been a reality where this has happened, so I don't think it's too much of a stretch. But as far as my dumb suggestions go, this is the least of the dumb ones that I can think of. Number 9 at odds of 7 to 1, I've got Kamala Khan. Yeah, no, there's quite a lot of crossover between the abilities of Mr. Fantastic and that of the youngest Ms. Marvel, but I think that they're really trying to build up her profile lately, so even though I don't think it's likely, and it looks like Marvel's going to go with the most obvious choice, I still think that this would be one that would be somewhat sensical. I'm not going to lie, if this happened, I would not be on Twitter the day that it's announced because of the fact that that would just be an absolute nightmare. But still, with the fact that she's making her appearance in the MCU, she's been a part of that Avengers game that pretty much nobody really played, Marvel's having more of a push to make her an A-list character, and I think putting her in the role of Sorcerer Supreme would do that. It would put her on that big platform. But besides just the novelty of it, I'm not too sure of the storytelling potential here. Number 8 at odds of 10 to 1, I've got Daredevil. Yeah, this one's mostly just for the irony of giving a blind guy the Eye of Agamotto. The people of Hell's Kitchen are scared shitless of him anyway, so if all of a sudden he becomes a Sorcerer Supreme, I just think that that would be really interesting to see just for a brief amount of time. Because that's the thing with comics, people get annoyed when these changes happen, but they're never permanent. The only thing that's guaranteed to not change is the fact that change will happen. So for me, if it's only for a bit of time, why don't we do something stupid, something that people aren't really predicting, because we know eventually Doctor Strange is going to return. He's got a big Marvel movie coming out, so this isn't going to be forever. So if I saw a cover where Scarlet Witch is a Sorcerer Supreme, or another one where Daredevil is, I know that I'd definitely be reading this one because I think it'd be 100 times more interesting. And I think Zdarsky is the kind of writer that would take that on the chin and just run with it. Number 7 at odds of 12 to 1, I've got Venom. In the last couple of years, thanks to Donny Cates, Venom has really built his profile up again. I haven't read the end of that run just yet, so admittedly I can't really comment on where the character's at the moment. And that's just a disclaimer throughout this full video. I don't actively read single issues, I just can't really keep track with it all, that's why I go collected editions. So some of these characters, I don't entirely know what the situation is at the moment. This is just a list that I'm doing for fun. Death means nothing in comics, so let's just enjoy it. I know that Donny Cates' time on Venom is coming to an end. I'm waiting for that 3rd hardcover and then I can just read all through it, because we're looking for that next step of the evolution for this character, because he started as a villain, he became an anti-hero, then he got replaced for a bit, and now he's come back and he's pretty much a hero. He's also very front and centre for Marvel at the minute, and I just think that this would be really interesting to see. It'd also be interesting if he's still got that urge to attack Spider-Man all the time, because now he's got even more power. So I think there would be some great storytelling potential here that would be really interesting, but yeah, don't really see this one happening either. Number 6 at odds of 18 to 1, I've got Ghost Rider. He's a character that I feel like Marvel needs to start paying a bit more attention to, because what's Ghost Rider doing at the minute? I know obviously, like I just said, I don't read single issues, so he probably is doing something, but the fact of the matter is that he's not really front and centre of anything. Whereas I know that Ghost Rider appeared quite a bit during the Damnation event that was led by Doctor Strange. So I do think it'd be interesting, because Ghost Rider is this character that is technically street level when you think about it, but in the same breath, there's no way that you can say that he's related relatable and down to earth. So why not take it completely off the rails and see if that cape is magic enough to not set fire when it's on the bike. Number 5, at odds of 20 to 1, I've got Moon Knight. Again, the reason why I think this would sort of be a viable, although unlikely option is because of the fact that they're doing a push to make Moon Knight a bigger character. With his upcoming TV shows and a lot of omnibuses being announced, it makes sense that they would try to put him in the role that is going to get a lot of eyes to it. And one eye in particular, the Eye of Agamotto. But Moon Knight, similar to Ghost Rider, is another one of those characters that is both street level, but also does deal with the mystical side of the Marvel Universe. I feel like I've said that exact sentence about 8 times already in this video. I know that there must have been some recent Moon Knight series, but I feel like ever since Jeff Lemire left the role, nobody really talks about him. So I think it'd be a good platform for the character if you announce him as a new Sorcerer Supreme and then it springboards into his own ongoing series. And in case you didn't know about Moon Knight or anything like that, well, A, I've already done a video about him here, but he does also have split personality disorder, so I think it'd be interesting if his different personalities resulted in him using his powers in different ways. Or maybe he could adapt and have Stephen Strange as one of the personalities. Number 4, at odds of 25 to 1, I've got Magneto. In the past, Doctor Doom tried to assume the role of Sorcerer Supreme, so I don't think it's unlikely that a villain might step up to the plate. As well, Magneto is one of those characters that's so fascinating that you'll watch him in any situation that he's in. So seeing him step up to those responsibilities is something that I would definitely be reading. And I think it'd turn everything on its head because it's expected that Scarlet Witch is going to step up to the mantle, but then all of a sudden it's going to be a dad? I don't know about anybody else, but I would definitely read that. Number 3, at odds of 50 to 1, I've got Blade. He's only made it into this list because I recently rewatched that first film and I just remembered how much I love this character. But again, as much as we don't like to admit it, the comics do often try to promote characters that are going to be big in the MCU. Blade is probably the most risky property that the MCU is going to take on because are they going to be able to do it justice? Is it going to be watered down? Or will it feel like it's something completely separate from the rest of the universe? So by doing this and integrating him into a role that's already established, such as the Sorcerer Supreme, would make sense because then people will know who this character is. I didn't realise that there are a lot of comic readers who don't know about Blade. People have asked me to do a who is, and if that's something that you're interested in, leave it in the comment section below. But when it comes to Blade, people from my generation know who he is because of the fact that he was literally the coolest guy that had ever existed. So because of the fact that he doesn't really have too much of a presence within the comics universe, like, yeah, he has some, and I'm not going to deny that because I imagine there's going to be like one massive Blade comic fan that's going to hate me for saying that. But if we're being honest, Blade titles don't sell that well. This could change that, make this an interesting story, and also put Blade in a good position for when his own movie comes out. Number 12, at odds of 100 to 1, I've got Black Cat. This one is only on here because of a technicality, because Zeb Wells, who is writing the 5-issue miniseries The Death of Doctor Strange, is currently doing a Black Cat series. I think it'd be a ballsy but respectable move if Zeb is going to use this platform to just promote his other series. And Black Cat is a thief, so she would try to steal the Eye of Agamotto if she got the chance. Then I can imagine that she just gets absorbed into the role and she just kind of runs with it. From the odds you can tell that I don't think this is going to happen, but if it did, I think that would be a very interesting time for the character. Would she be able to change her ways? Would she still try and be a thief? Would it have anything to do with Spider-Man? All those questions are ones that I'm interested to find out the answer to, and more so than any question about Scarlet Witch becoming the Sorcerer Supreme. As well, though, when we've had these death and replacement storylines, there's always some kind of cool catchphrase to go with it. With Captain America, it's who will wield the shield. With Batman, it was battle for the cowl. So I feel like Doctor Strange deserves one as well, and I can't really think of a good one. Except for something like, who will acquire the Eye of Agamotto? And that's the reason why no one's going to pay me to write comics. But my number 1 dumbest, most unlikely pick for who will become the Sorcerer Supreme is no one. No, I'm just joking, it's Nova. Like, honestly, I think it's more unlikely that somebody won't become the Sorcerer Supreme, up to the point where I've put it at odds of 250 to 1. But odds of 200 to 1, I would really be interested to see Nova. I don't know what that character is doing at the moment. I haven't really followed him since the end of the Abnett and Lanning series. But Richard Rider was such a great character with a lot of potential. During the Annihilation and War of Kings era, he was pretty much leading that entire charge. All of space pretty much has Nova to thank, and admittedly, I do think because of the fact that there's a lot of comparisons between the Nova Corps and the Green Lantern Corps and Richard Rider and Hal Jordan, it might be a bit of plagiarism if all of a sudden he's going to be possessed by some kind of mystical entity, which is kind of similar to what happened when Hal Jordan became Spectre. But the one thing that I've always thought that Doctor Strange could improve on is his speed ability when he's flying. So if you put Nova in the role, my one complaint for the character, gone. The reason why I think this is the dumbest of the picks that I've done is because of the fact that how do you take a character that is pretty much exclusive to space and then all of a sudden just mostly have him in New York. You know, when you've gone to all those different planets, it's not really something that I think would appeal to many people. But still, I'd love to read it. I can't even conceive a way that that might happen in the storyline, but that is why it is my #1 dumbest pick. But that's my list, and like I said, I just wanted to do something fun, a bit more relaxed, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. In the comment section below, tell me which Marvel character you think is very unlikely to become the Sorcerer Supreme, but that you would love to see in the role. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, why did you get this far? Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to treat yourself, I'd recommend checking out our sponsor, Organic Price Books. And if you use code WOOFWOOF, you'll get $2 off your order, and you can use that as many times as you like. Share this video where you can so that we can get people excited for the event, and it also helps out the channel. But until next time, whenever that may be, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video.